to have that honor. It's certainly, and that record is certainly Chamique Hosclaw. You think about how many times she's gone out in this conference and put up numbers against some of the best teams in the country, night in and night out. So it doesn't surprise me, and certainly I know there's a lot of people that will remember her, certainly no one more than the SEC.
Yeah, we'll all remember. Congratulations and thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back to the floor. Dave and Van are standing by. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Darren, and of course, Coach Summit, for being so gracious to come out here and join us. But, Coach, when you look back at this game, Alabama came out and played exactly the kind of basketball you thought they had.
Welcome to Chattanooga. Beth Mowens along with Nancy Lieberman-Klein. Glad you could be with us for this matchup between two of the dominant programs in women's college basketball over the last 2 decades. And surprisingly enough, Nancy, this is just the second time that they are meeting for the SEC championship. What's not surprising, however, is that Chamique Hosclaw and the Lady Vols are here today.
Let's just say that Hosclaw has totally dominated women's college basketball for 4 years. Every year she's gotten better with passing, being able to finish. Unlike the last game, it was a tight game with Georgia. She had 16 points in the last 7 minutes of the game, but let's not forget, 2,909 points. She has a new SEC record.
On the other side for Georgia, they've got some firepower as well in Coco and Kelly Miller, their high-scoring sophomore sisters.
Let's just call them the dynamic duo. First time the sisters have been first-team All-SEC. You see that they're closing in on 1,000 points in their career. Most importantly, they combined for 37 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. They do a lot of damage for Andy Lander's team.
Well, both these coaches, of course, would love to have an SEC championship, but they're also thinking NCAA championship. They know the importance of March momentum.
It's a time of the year when you want to feel good about how you're playing and about the team and going into March preparation. And I told them, I mean, you're not going to be playing now for 12 days. You leave it all on the court tonight.
It's a chance for us to win the Southeastern Conference Tournament Championship, which is the most difficult and most prestigious tournament to win in this country.
The last time this arena was sold out, they came to see another famous number 23. And it's Carolina Blues back in 1982 when Jordan was here. The Roundhouse is packed again tonight to see Chamique battle Georgia.
So, this is it. What do you think?
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by Maxwell House Coffee. Always good to the last drop.
From Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's Championship Week on ESPN and ESPN2, one of the toughest titles to come by in the country. The Women's SEC Championship at stake, Tennessee and Georgia. From a sold-out Roundhouse, the Pringles starting lineup for Georgia and head coach Andy Landers, and Tawana McDonald, their 6'4" freshman center, has to come up big inside, leading the SEC in blocks, has to be very careful of foul trouble. On the other side, for Tennessee and head coach Pat Summitt, Kelly Jolly, her assist-to-turnover ratio in the first 2 games of this tournament, 13 assists, just 2 giveaways, and she is 6th best in the SEC at 4 assists per contest. Pat Summitt, 25 years at the University of Tennessee, 6 national championships, 691 wins, closing in on 700 in her career. And on the other side for Georgia, Andy Landers, 20 years in Athens, 4 trips to the Final Four. He's got over 560 career wins to his credit. And this season marked the 16th time in 20 years that his teams have won 20 or better. 2 of the best in the business, Nancy.
Well, you don't win as many games as both of them have won if you don't get great players coming to your program, and they have just taken advantage of it.
Georgia with wins over Mississippi State, and then Kentucky last night. Tennessee with victories over Florida, and then Alabama. And the all-time series, 26-12. Tennessee, the last win was a memorable one for Georgia back in December of 1996.
But that was back in Knoxville, Tennessee, where you don't get a whole lot of wins.
Tennessee has taken both previous meetings in the regular season, the Lady Vols in white, and Georgia sporting their black uniforms. These are their big game unis they've got on, just a second time this year. And immediately Tennessee goes inside to Michelle Snow.
Well, Georgia came out man-to-man defense, and Tennessee goes right to their offense, going through the post to initiate it.
Nancy, we'll be watching closely the activity in the paint, where Tennessee has had a huge advantage in the previous 2 meetings this year.
Oh, they're so good offensively, not only of getting shots off in the paint, as you see Coco Miller lighten it up, as he's done throughout the year. Both teams are going to come out and play very tough denial man-to-man defense.
Randall, 14-footer, rims around and out. Snow with the rebound. And Holtzclaw loses the handle out of bounds.
What a great freshman, Michelle Snow, from Pensacola, Florida. She has come in and just changed everything in the middle for Tennessee this season.
There is how these two teams progress to this stage. Georgia, by the way, playing their game till about 10:30 or so last night. They had the late game,
but they don't have any seniors, so it doesn't matter. You got young players who want to get out here. They are so tough-minded, the Georgia young people. They want to get back at Tennessee.
Coco Miller working on Holtzclaw. Tough shot. Won't drop. Rebound, Kelly Jolly. Tennessee on the break. 3-on-1. The lob catching. One times it, no good. And the foul will go against the Lady Vols.
You know, even though Tennessee missed that shot, what a great read by Randall. She knew that if she bounced past it, Murphy would have her hand right in the passing lane, right here. And so she goes up top to Catchings, who's made this play so many times throughout her 2 years with the Lady Vols.
Officials reverse it, and the call will be against Angie Ball for Georgia. The block by McDonald inside. Second chance for Randall, no good. Well, there's the defense that Tawana McDonald provides for Georgia.
And make no mistake, this is not going to be a walk-it-up-the-court type of game. So don't leave your seat. This is going to be run until somebody drops.
Camille Murphy misses on the 3 attempt. Ball with a rebound. Tennessee has not enjoyed the rebounding advantage in this tournament that they had throughout the regular season, as McDonald works it inside.
The teams are doing a better job of getting to the offensive glass, where Tennessee averages 16 on the year. That's a lot of offensive rebounds.
Holtzclaw on the drive, and she is fouled by Kelly Miller, the first on the sophomore from Rochester, Minnesota.
What a nice job the freshman Camille Murphy has done for Andy Lander's team. She has come in. She's averaging 8 points a game, the point guard, the last 5 games.
Just a freshman out of Corcoran High School in Syracuse, New York, as Georgia calls the 22nd timeout with the early 5-2 lead. And over on the other side for Tennessee, of course, you hear a lot of praise for the 3 Meeks, and deservedly so. Those are the numbers on the season for Shamiqua, Tamika, and Samika.
And you read Mika did very well by... Let me tell you about those 3. I think they all deserve to be Kodak All-Americans. I know that has never happened, but Tamika Randall has earned the right to have that type of recognition in her sophomore season.
Snow, off the mark, batted around, Holtzclaw with the putback. First 2 for Shamiqua.
That's what they do so well on the inside, the Lady Vols. Even if they can't get it, like Rodman, they keep it alive or tip it to a teammate.
McDonald, strong move to the bucket. Angie Ball with the follow. Georgia inspired on the offensive glass.
Not a wonder that Angie Ball has the highest field goal percentage on the team, 52%. He gets tight-end shots like that.
Catchings. Gets it back out to Randall. Back into Tamika. On the low block, can't get it to drop. Another offensive putback, and the bonus for Shamiqua Holtzclaw.
You can see, Beth, from the beginning of this game that Tennessee is trying to establish the inside against Georgia. Look at the great post right there by Catchings, and even though her shot is short, it makes your defense rotate, and then the other great rebounder, Holtzclaw, comes in from the weak side.
Shamiqua has 5 in the early going now for Tennessee. All-time leading scorer and a rebounder in Knoxville. And that's for both the men and the women.
She just broke Allen Houston's all-time Tennessee scoring mark.
Ball, nice backdoor cut by Kelly Miller. Ball again on the glass to keep it alive. Holtzclaw
necessarily have to block your shot. They do such a great job of changing it.
Kelly Miller with the rebound to her sister Coco.
Georgia runs a lot of the triangle offense where the passer at the post goes to the corner.
Angie Ball, 4 points for Angie.
I give a lot of credit to Kelly Miller. Nice pass on the inside. It's an art, Beth, to be able to feed the post. And a lot of players don't work on that.
Foul will be inside against Georgia.
Look at the nice post right here. You got Ball right here as you attack the defense, and they have to step up and cut off the penetration. She finds the open spot.
And bad news for Georgia. Angie Ball will have to leave the game with 2 personal fouls, replaced by Elena Vishniakova. As Michelle Snow pops for 2 more. All of Tennessee's points in the paint here in the early going. Coco Miller, the leaner, won't drop. McDonald, no good. Georgia continues to get second chance opportunities.
You cannot allow Kelly Miller those open looks. She shoots 44% when somebody's got a hand in her face, much less an open foul line jumper.
Randall spinning in traffic, no good. Catchings is there for 2.
I'll tell you what, Andy Landers is not going to be very happy that Georgia is not turning, sealing, and putting a body on Tennessee.
Coco Miller with space, misses the 3. Randall in transition. And the foul as Catchings was pushed from behind Vishniakova. That's the first on Elena. We are tied at 11, 15-14 to go. A lot at stake in Chattanooga tonight. We're tied at 11 in this SEC championship. Georgia and Tennessee playing their 3rd game in 3 consecutive days. Tennessee with wins over Florida and Alabama yesterday in the semifinals. And Georgia beating Mississippi State and then Kentucky last night. Kentucky and Alabama may have just played themselves right into the NCAA tournament by getting to the semis.
It's been a great year for Kentucky basketball. We all know about what the men have done, but Bernadette Locke has certainly changed it around for the women's program.
And it was interesting to see Bernadette played for Andy Landers at Georgia, and they were coaching against one another last night.
But you're seeing so much more of that in college basketball, where Carolyn Peck is coaching against Pat Summitt, or you've had the Nancy Darshys at Ohio State. It's kind of neat to see those assistants getting their chance to go against their mentors.
Both teams 5 for 13 right now from the floor. Holtzclaw. Boy, she loves to play against Georgia. She's had some of the best games of her career against the Lady Dogs. She's already got 7 here tonight.
Well, she only averages 29 points and 11 rebounds in her career against Georgia. So, and those games have all been big games.
Vishniakova in traffic finds McDonald, and Tawana finishes it.
The time the Tennessee trap from the weak side was a little bit slow in getting there, McDonald gets the easy lay-in. Against Tennessee, you've got to make sure if you're playing defense, you must jump to the ball and cut the cutter, make her go behind you.
Holtzclaw keeps that one alive. Finally, Georgia comes out with it. Deanna Nolan, number 14, now into the game for Georgia. They call her Tweety, because she can fly, an excellent leaper.
And they also compare Nolan to the great Lady Hardman, who played here now in the WNBA with the Utah Stars. Hardman could do a lot of things and was a fantastic athlete.
Again, they try to work it inside to McDonald. She draws the foul on Michelle Snow.
Well, you can see going up over the top. Snow that time lost sight of the ball. That's why coaches tell you, see ball, see player. And if she tells you to see something, I recommend you do it, Pat Summitt.
McDonald to the free throw line.
But even coaches as great as Pat Summitt with the 6 championships, she has Billy Moore here in the stand, Billy Moore, the great Olympic coach from 1976. I was a part of that team with Pat Head at the time, won a silver medal. Billy Moore comes in, she critiques practice, she breaks down film with Pat, and I think everybody needs a mentor. Of course, Billy Moore spent a lot of time with John Wooden at UCLA, so you've got good tree line, family tree line.
Pretty good mentor there. Georgia with another offensive rebound, much to Coach Summit's chagrin. McDonald with a strong move to the basket. 7 now for Tawana.
The triangle offense for Georgia is a fantastic offense because you reverse the ball through the post, and their posts are so good off the dribble.
Holtzclaw, the backdoor cut up and under for 2 more. He's got 9. Coco Miller hits for 2.
You wonder why this is the best conference and has been for so long in women's collegiate basketball. The high level of talent and ability is absolutely phenomenal.
Working inside, Teresa Jeter. Again, the backdoor cut. This time it's Tamika Catchings.
I mean, Catchings makes a nice cut and finishes, but the fact that the Tennessee posts are such good passers.
Kelly Miller right back at you. She's got 4. Coco's got 5.
You know it's an up-tempo game when we can't actually tell you what happened before somebody else scores.
Jeter. Holtzclaw. Randall tips it loose. Miller comes out with it. Georgia now with the numbers on the break. 3 on 2. Kelly Miller, triple. Got it.
This is a great pace for Georgia, and it's a confidence builder. I thought that they had to come out, get a lead, because you don't want Tennessee to be the front runner.
It's a 6-point Lady Dog lead. Randall can't get that one to drop. And again, Georgia comes out with it.
Tennessee does a great job defensively. They only allow their opponents 38% shooting, and what that means is they force you out of your comfort zone, if by a little.
Tawana McDonald, another running one-hander. She's got 9 now in the first half.
Somebody forgot to tell McDonald that they're the defending national champion. What a great first half. The freshman from Flint, Michigan, Northern High School. Not too far from there.
Holtzclaw. Boy, Shamika's brought her A game. She's got 11. By the way, setting a Lady Vol record for her 144th game here tonight. Passing Abby Conklin's mark. Tweety Nolan. And Holtzclaw with another rebound. She's all over the floor tonight, man. Catchings in front of the pack.
Transition defense. I would guess that that's a word the coaches used in the locker room a couple times. You must see the ball and get back.
That brought the pro-Tennessee crowd into it as Randall bumps the ball out of bounds. And we'll take a timeout, catch our breath, and be right back to Chattanooga after this.
Bet you didn't know the game of chess originated in Africa.
But getting up and down the floor, this is a glorified pickup game.
Vishniakova tries to back in and is whistled for the walk.
See, that's where as a post, you have to have your knees bent and stay balanced because Tennessee is good at using the forearm to keep you off balance.
In the 2 previous meetings this year, Georgia was able to hang tough for a good 30-32 minutes and then ran out of gas at the end. But they've come out pretty strong again here tonight. Nia Butts into the Tennessee lineup, able to knock it off of Nolan out of bounds.
Well, Nia Butts gives you yet a different look defensively, and with the way the game's been going, she should be a star. I mean, that's her thing, stopping people.
Catchings. Tried to muffle one up and in, and another foul will be called on Vishniakova. So now Elena and Angie Ball both have 2 apiece.
And this is important for Georgia. They do not want to get Tennessee on the foul line. This year, Tennessee shot over 800 foul shots. Their opponents, 500. They're getting 29 attempts a game off the line.
Ace Clement is also into the game now for Tennessee, number 33, as Jolly tries a runner, no good. Held ball, and the possession arrow will give it to Georgia.
Let me say this. I hate the possession arrow. I think it is one of the worst rules ever put into basketball because it does not reward hard work and hustle. Dump it up.
Keisha Brown has come into the Georgia lineup. Half-court trap set up by Tennessee. They shake the ball free. Bucks all the way, layup. Tennessee creating a little offense off their defense. We talked about Bucks coming in the game and giving them that element. It's a great matchup. Keisha Brown, one of the great players in Georgia basketball high school history. Working it inside the ball, stripped loose by Clement. Well, interestingly enough, too, Nancy, prior to Brown's insertion into the lineup, it was all Yankees on the floor for Georgia. They have a very northern feel to this team, with the Minnesotans and the New Yorkers and the Michiganites.
Andy Landers likes to recruit all over the country.
Another takeaway by the Tennessee defense.
Tennessee going into their version of the triangle offense, trying to reverse the ball.
Jolly blocked inside by Nolan. And now Coco Miller on the run. Tennessee basketball.
It's a good play because you've got to think Coco Miller, even if she's 1-on-2, she's probably not going to give up the ball. She's going to go hard to the basket. Third in the conference in scoring this year, 19 points a game.
And this time the whistle will go against Tennessee on the screen, sent by Teresa Jeter. That is Jeter's first personal.
This is not a bad play here. Yes, it is a foul because she moved, but Kelly Jolly's got to set her girl up, Brown, a little bit more, and then run her off shoulder to shoulder.
25-23 Georgia. All of the Lady Vols points have come from inside the paint with the exception of a Holtzclaw foul shot.
You might see a little bit of difference in the Tennessee defense, Beth. They're not using the 2-2-1 full court. They're doing it from half court to try and take Georgia out of their offense.
Coco Miller's penetration, she hits to snap a 6-0 Tennessee run. Bumps the lead back up to 4. Coco's got 7. The block by Vishnikova.
Two teams that have owned this tournament. Tennessee's won it 8 times.
Brown's kick out to Coco, her second triple of the game.
Georgia has won the SEC title 6 times. It's amazing that after they started out 18-1, Georgia, they went on that just horrible couple weeks where they went 1-4.
Holtzclaw's miss. And Georgia has the ball and the 7-point lead. McDonald, freshman on freshman. And McDonald whistled for the walk.
Coco Miller with a nice crossover dribble to get away, goes in and has that pull-up. That's when you have a lot of touch with the little runner.
Nolan nearly knocked it loose. And Tennessee will keep it just under 8 to go in the first half as Andy Landers works the officials. Right now, he's got the edge on the scoreboard over second-ranked Tennessee and Pat Summitt. 30-23, Georgia, with Coco Miller leading the way. She's got 10.
What does it mean to have guaranteed total satisfaction as standard equipment on your new Toyota? Just ask any of the smiling faces you see driving Toyotas and first choice certified quality used cars from Fox & Clinton. Fox knows it's what the customer wants that counts. And since our overhead is lower, you'll save more. No outlandish claims, no empty promises. New or used, purchase or lease for the best deal going in and the best service driving away. There are many ways to get to Fox Toyota in Clinton, but only one way to leave. Totally satisfied.
JK's Music, a one-stop shop for all your music needs. Mainstream, underground, or our new mix CD collection. All aspects of the urban theme. JK Music. We get the hits before anybody. Rap, R&B, blues, and jazz. See JK Music for those hard-to-find underground CDs and tapes. Even
featuring monster matchups in the Big East and the A-10. The AT&T Big East Championship first round at 7:30. The Atlantic 10 quarterfinals at 9:30. Wednesday on ESPN2.
A 7-point Georgia lead over Tennessee. Tennessee needs to have a little bit more of this. Watch this defense by Nia Buck. She's got those Mike Singletary eyes right there on Keisha Brown. Now, Brown has got to know Tennessee is rotating right behind that. Now, watch how the ball lobs in the middle. And here comes Ace Clements from the weak side. You have to make a hard, low pass to the post because you're going to have that player coming from the weak side trying to pick up the charge. Kelly Jolly, to Shamiqua Holtzclaw, the two seniors on this Tennessee team. Holtzclaw can't get that one to drop. Snow keeps it alive and puts it back up. Michelle's got 6. Even though Tennessee's been on the offensive boards, I believe that's their 8th so far in the half. They have not been to the foul line but one time, and that's a crucial factor because it's saying that they're not getting dribble penetration against the Georgia defense. And Georgia is well into winning the overall battle on the glass. Long rebound to Randall. Clement running with her. Samika stops, pops. And the foul on the rebound against Tennessee. And that's something else for Tennessee. Randall has not scored in the basketball game. She is 0 for 7. She has played so well this season. Yesterday, she struggled mightily in the first half. Just 2 points, and then came back and scored 21 after the intermission. Oh, she was on fire defensively, hands in the passing lane, moving her feet. Tweety Nolan, baseline jumper, got it. Nolan's first. She had 14 points and 10 rebounds in their second-round win over Mississippi State. You know, you have to say to yourself when you're on offense, how do I get into my offense? Do I dribble it to get into it, or do I have to pass it to get into it? Because right now, Georgia's dribbling it. Nobody stops ball, and Keisha Brown gives Georgia a 9-point lead. And you know Andy Landers and his staff have studied the Purdue tape. They have studied the LSU tape in which those two teams beat the Lady Vols. Michelle Snow, another putback. She's got 8. Still the 2-2-1 half-court trap by Tennessee. Want to keep the ball in the middle of the floor. Hammer when Osbald into the game and in trouble. Georgia will keep it. Both these teams, well, Tennessee, most likely a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, while Georgia has moved into the top 4 seed in the NCAAs. Well, they're pretty much going to be guaranteed that they will get some home games, which, as they advance in the tournament, is critical. Nolan has to change it in midair, and she hits it. Wow. This is a player that has just so much quickness and the potential to be a star. Catching to Snow, misses the chippy rebound McDonald. And Georgia can bump the lead into double digits. Georgia calling a stead play right now, a little bit of one-on-one isolation where they were going to try and let Nolan go one-on-one. Erwin Osbald shot off the mark and knocked out of bounds. Tennessee basketball.
Well, tomorrow ESPN2 will bring you not one, not two, but three women's championship games, starting out with the A10 at 5 o'clock Eastern, then the Big Ten Championship at 7:30. Check out top-ranked Purdue in that one, and then the Conference USA Championship at 11:30. All tomorrow on the Deuce, ESPN.com, part of Go Network, Go.com. Michelle Snow off the mark, and Tawana McDonald has the rebound.
What's happening in Tennessee's offense, Beth, is they're taking one shot because shots are very difficult to come by, quality shots, and they're just not in good rebounding position.
Offensive foul called on Erwin Oswald. Clement was there defensively.
Andy Landers doing a nice job with his rotation as he brings back Coco Miller in the game. This is good defense by Ace Clements. He gets right up on top of you, and Pam Erwin Oswald says, I need a little space. Fortunately, you can't use the elbow to clear out.
Tennessee has scored at will in the paint here tonight. Holtzclaw goes for a couple of more and gets them. Shamiqua's got 13.
I think that's a nice play by Tennessee. You're having problems scoring. Go run a little pick and roll. Run it with Snow so she can roll to the basket. And Holtzclaw can elevate over anyone.
Kelly Miller, tough shot over Randall. Snow clears it. Holtzclaw, the lob for Catchings, a little behind her and out of bounds. 3:44 to go, 36-29, Georgia.
The more you do something, the better you get. State Farm's been settling car insurance claims for over 75 years, millions of them. We've come up with a system that works so well that more drivers trust State Farm than all those cut-rate insurance companies put together. You're buying into that promise that we're going to be there to take care of you when the claim happens. Every day, State Farm handles over 30,000 claims. It's a practice makes perfect thing. That's the reason the competition doesn't stand a chance.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dear Felicia, congratulations to you on your last game. The interest you have shown in our schools signifies your ambition to become a part of a rich history of education and athletics. Because you symbolize the best of what we look for in a student athlete, we would like to offer you a full scholarship to Stanford University.
If this is you, communications has finally caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. All the ways you want to communicate in one network with the same low rate of 10 cents a minute on your calls, even wireless. One bill, one number to call for more personalized service. Just call 1-800-4ATT now or visit our website. AT&T Personal Network. It could change forever the way you communicate. Call 1-800-4ATT now.
36-29, Georgia with the lead over Tennessee. 3:44 to go in the first half. Tennessee has only trailed 3 times this year at halftime. They lost to Purdue, they lost to LSU, and then yesterday, for the first time this year, they were down to Alabama at the intermission and then came back and won it in the second half.
Beth, this is exactly the lineup that Al Brown, the assistant coach of Tennessee, said was a very serious problem for them. You've got 4 guards on the floor for Georgia, and Tennessee is having a hard time stopping their penetration to the basket.
On the miss, Holtzclaw with the rebound, and now Clement at the point. Clement, Holtzclaw, Catchings, Snow, Randall out there right now for Tennessee and White. McDonald with the strip. Brown looking for Kelly Miller. Great catch in the finish.
What about the pass by Keisha Brown, having presence of mind to kick the ball up the floor? You know, this is a player that's had 2 torn ACLs. Kelly Jolly knows something about that. So she's been on a 2-year hiatus pretty much.
Tamika Randall with her first basket of the game. Catchings almost had the pick.
Golly. Debbie Jennings, the SID of Tennessee, almost made a great grab courtside. Look at this right here. You have to protect the ball and be strong with it because McDonald is coming at you with very active hands. Look at that.
pinpoint passing, John Elway would be proud.
And perhaps the most important stat, Nancy, is McDonald with the 9 points and no fouls.
Well, yeah, it is important because she has a propensity for getting in foul trouble, but Georgia always looking up the floor, always trying to attack.
They've made this little run, too, with Brown at the point. Another assist for Keisha, and Tawana McDonald has 11.
Well, you knew that she would show you flashes of what the future is for Georgia basketball, but to play big in such a big game, Andy Landers is very pleased.
Coming off the mark. This time she'll try it on the drive. Hard off the back iron. Holtzclaw plays a little patty cake with it and puts it up and in. Shaniqua's got 15, and the defense creates the turnover.
You can't fade away from your ball handler because you know the trap is coming right at you. That time Brown lost her passing angle as one of the Millers, I couldn't see which one it was, went more down towards the baseline.
7-point Georgia lead. Holtzclaw working on Kelly Miller. Over the top of her. Boy, Shaniqua's really feeling it tonight. 17 now in the first half.
Well, Kelly Miller, who's a tremendous defender, cannot guard Holtzclaw. But on the other end, Coco Miller is doing a great job of keeping Randall from posting her up on the block.
And here's that 4 on the perimeter that we were talking about. And the foul will be called on Clement for the hand check. 1:30 to go in the first half. The Monistat halftime report coming your way. We'll be joining ESPN News. Top-ranked Purdue in action today at the Big Ten tournament, and also semifinal highlights from the ACC.
This is unfamiliar territory for Pat Summitt's team. During the regular season, they trailed at halftime only twice to Purdue and LSU, and of course you know the outcome was they lost those. They came back from being down at halftime against Alabama last night.
And the offensive foul will be called on Tawana McDonald. That is the 8th team foul on Georgia. And a 20-second timeout called by Landers.
Andy Landers reintroducing himself to Keisha Brown, his sophomore from Woodward Academy in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, tune into ESPN 1 week from tonight for the NCAA Women's Selection Special presented by State Farm. Coverage begins at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific. And that's followed up by the Men's Tournament Selection Special as well, all next Sunday on ESPN. Robin Roberts, Mimi Griffin, Rebecca Lobo in the studio for the women. Chris Fowler, Digger Phelps, and Dick Vitale will have the grid for you from the men's tournament special, selection show special.
And you'll be roaming around Kansas City trying to get the inside scoop.
Yes, out with the selection committee as they make their picks. The SEC hoping for possibly 8 invites this year, which would be a new record.
It's not a surprise because every year they always teeter on 6, 7, or 8.
Coco Miller, short, long rebound. Clement on Brown. She'll take it all the way and score.
You know, people look at Kristen Clement and say, okay, well, she's more of a half-court, open-court player, loves to make the great pass. But she broke the scoring record in high school at Cardinal O'Hara for Pennsylvania. She broke Will Chamberlain's record at the time.
Double team out top. Pass kicked off by Texas. Tennessee again. Holtzclaw with the spin. And the battle for the rebound. And an awful quick whistle to call the tie-up between Catchings and Miller. Tennessee will keep it. Angie Ball back into the Georgia lineup. Shot clock is now off with 28 seconds to go in the half.
Beth, you've got to be thinking if you're Georgia, this is one of the best halves we have ever played, and we only have a 3-point lead. We've done everything right against Tennessee.
Randall off the mark. Kelly Miller with Clement giving chase. Well, let's see now if Georgia will use that patience that Andy Landers talked about during their shoot-around this morning. They can hold it for one shot.
Coaches love the kind of hustle that Kristen Clemens just gave. Even though Miller's ahead of her, she's constantly digging at the ball and was quick enough to deflect it and make Georgia set up.
Nolan won't wait. She'll take it strong to the basket, wave it away. Offensive foul.
Oh, yeah, the officials, Nan Sis, she was in front of that play the whole way. But what a great drive by Deanna Nolan. Beautiful play here. I thought she could have used more clock. And Salon Pillow, the 6'3" freshman, steps in and takes the charge.
So now 16.8 seconds for Tennessee to work with. And Jolly's going to call a 20-second timeout.
That is exactly what Georgia should have done. There was no reason to go in and draw a foul. Spread it out, run a set play, maybe bring one of Miller off a screen or two and get a good shot at the basket.
12.9 seconds to go. Georgia leading Tennessee by 3. And, of course, just a couple of weeks ago, actually last week, they lost to LSU, did this Tennessee team. And head coach Pat Summitt says they learned a very valuable lesson from that loss.
If we're not having our A game, we can lose. And we have to come at the beginning of the game. We can't put ourselves in the position that we did at Purdue and LSU because of their style of play. They were able to dictate tempo. And I think we understand now it's important to open up the game and come out of the gate strong and play 40 minutes.
40-37. Summit's team didn't come roaring out of the gate, but they may finish the half strong.
So a change in defense by Georgia for the first time. They've gone 2-3 zone.
Catchings tries to beat the buzzer, can't get it to go. At any rate, Tennessee finishes on an 8-2 run to close the deficit to 40-37. Shamiqua Holtzclaw leading the way with 17 points for Tennessee, 11 for Tawana McDonald from Georgia. We're at the half. 40-37, Georgia will join ESPN News after these messages.
It's cold. I throw it. It's so sore. Gave you this cold. You gave it to me. You gave it to me. You got it.
Enough. We gotta keep moving here. I'll take it, Dayquil.
Take it what?
You know, NyQuil for night.
Dayquil for day. I'm taking these.
I won't touch your cough or headache.
We'll see.
Like the complete relief of NyQuil? You'll love non-drowsy Dayquil.
Oh, you guys are doing great.
Dayquil, the non-drowsy, congested, stuffy head, sore throat, coughing, aching, fever, so you can get through the day medicine.
I was driving across country on the way to my first job, just out of college. I had hardly any money. Yeah, that's when my car starts making this weird noise. I saw a Firestone store with MasterCare car service. So I had them check it out, and guess what? They found the problem and even suggested a way to fix it that saved me money when I needed it most. I'll never forget that.
Let's go. Split them up.
MasterCare means we guarantee to fix it right or your money back.
MasterCare at Firestone, just what your car needs.
My job is to compare products. And it's not often that I'm surprised. So when Head & Shoulders went up against the leading prescription brand, I expected the prescription to be better, but it isn't. A study proves Head & Shoulders is effective against dandruff. I found out there's a microscopic fungus associated with dandruff, and Head & Shoulders helps kill it. Helps stop flakes before they even start. Not even the expensive prescription works better. You may never see flakes again.
Yes, it is. A special welcome to those of you watching the Women's SEC Championship game between 12th-ranked Georgia and 2nd-ranked Tennessee. This is ESPN News. Welcome. I'm Whit Watson. We'll get you back for the second half, but first off, some more women's college basketball action. Purdue women's head coach Carolyn Pack is in a pretty good situation. Her Boilermakers are ranked #1 in the country and playing in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. And once their season ends, Pack will move on to become the head coach and GM of the WNBA's expansion Orlando Miracle. First order of business, though, defend a conference title. Top-ranked Purdue facing Ohio State today. First half, 6 seconds left. Purdue by 18. Stephanie White-McCarty, the three at the buzzer. and Purdue. Actually, they were up by 12, now up by 15 at the break. Second half, Purdue up by 13. Yukari Figs. Her 5th 3 of the game coming soon, I promise. That's a loose highlight. Purdue wins it by a final of 72-59. Yukari Figs had 21 points and 5 dimes. The Boilermakers advanced to the title game of the Big Ten tournament. Katie Douglas and Stephanie White-McCarty combining for 35 more. Purdue was 7 of 15 from downtown. They'll face the winner of Penn State and Illinois in the title game on Monday. Duke and Clemson, second half under a minute and a half to go. Duke down by 6. Nicole Erickson, the 3 from the corner, cuts the lead to 3. It's 71-68. 11 seconds to go. Erin Bath gives the free throw to give Clemson a 3-point lead. One last possession for Duke, but it's Itoro Umo who steals the inbounds pass, and she's fouled. Clemson's going back to the ACC title game for the 4th straight year as they knock off Duke by a final of 76-71. The upset, the Blue Devils were the hands-down favorite to win the tournament, but the Devils have never reached the finals of the women's ACC tournament in its 22-year history. More women's scores, 78-67, North Carolina leading UVA, under a minute to go in this one. Teasley with 19 points, Carolina trying to win their 25th game on the season. Men's hoop, Kentucky and Tennessee. Kentucky down by 1 at the half. The second half, they come out strong. Off the miss, Scott Padgett, the board and the putback. Tubby Smith and company go up by 5. Down by 2, Tennessee coming back. Vincent Yarbrough picks up a loose ball. Out, quit it. Throws down the dunk. We're tied at 51. Tied at 55, more of UT. Tony Harris to Isaiah Victor. Alley and oop. Tennessee by 2. They're pumped up in Knoxville. They can smell the upset. Under 30 seconds to play. Tennessee by 5. Saul Smith. No. Scott Padgett. No. Tennessee. Oh, yes. They hang on to win as they complete their first sweep of Kentucky in 20 years. 68-61 the final. They clinched the SEC Eastern Division with that win. Tony Harris had 18. Brandon Wharton, 17 points and 5 assists. Kentucky has dropped 4 straight conference road games. UConn and Syracuse, it's a final. Connecticut winning that one 70-58, their second straight outright Big East Conference title. Richard Hamilton, who missed the first game against Syracuse this year back in February with an injury, he atoned for it. 26 points, 7 boards, and 7 assists. Michigan State trying to lock up a top seed in the Big Dance, leading Purdue 56-44 as we speak. Mateen Cleaves with 8 points at halftime. Alan Eldridge had 7 points at the intermission. Michigan State looking for their 15th consecutive win. The Lady Vols trailing the Bulldogs by 3 at the half. We've got more from ESPN News in just a moment.
I'm here with an exciting medical announcement. Doctors have learned that Monistat 1 keeps working for days to cure a yeast infection. Monistat 1, 1 dose, from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Lycos, go get it. Lycos, sorry, go get it.
Unleash the new Lycos, and the internet is at your command. So, no matter what you're looking to retrieve, Lycos will hunt it down quicker and easier.
Lycos, go get it.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Good boy.
How do I look? How do I look? How do I look?
Very good. I must say, I'm amazed.
I am a very stylish girl.
The new Volvo S80. My goodness.
A very stylish girl.
Whenever you call, wherever you call, wherever you're calling from. Now every long-distance call on Sprint is just a dime a minute, including calling card calls, even calls to your personal 800 number.
I have an exciting medical announcement.
Welcome back to the Roundhouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee for the SEC Championship. 12th-ranked Georgia with the 40-37 lead over second-ranked Tennessee. Beth Mullins along with Nancy Lieberman-Klein. And time now, Nancy, to take a look at the Nike first-half statistics and some surprising numbers for Tennessee in that first half.
Well, the first one that jumps out at me is right this, 39%. They're number one in the nation, 52%, and the fact that they've only been to the foul line twice gives Georgia a lot of credit. Really, it's been their half. The only problem for Georgia is that Tennessee has 12 offensive rebounds. You can't beat that for what Andy Lander's team has done. Now look what they've done with spacing right here. This is exactly what you want to do against a man-to-man team. Now they're taking the ball from the middle of the floor. They're making the defense shift, reversing the ball. Now they're going through the high post right there. That's McDonald. She's going to have a one-on-one right to the basket because they've done that work and there's no help defense.
Tawana McDonald with a big first half, 11 points. They also got it done on the run.
Well, good defense right here. You pick up the ball, you look up the floor, and then you have Kelly Miller, who loves to run out. They're very good at recognition on the steals.
There is McDonald, the freshman from Flint, Michigan, a high school player of the year in the state last year, with a big first half. McDonald, Vishniakova, and Ball all have two personals inside for Georgia.
I would think that Tennessee might try to do a little bit more trapping than they did on the wings in the first half. And Beth, a telltale stat, if the stats do hold true, Georgia is 20-1 when they lead at the half.
Coco and Kelly, along with McDonald, Nolan, and Angie Ball, to start it out in black for Georgia. Catching, Snow, Jolly, Holtzclaw, and Randall in white for Tennessee. The leading scorers, McDonald and Holtzclaw. Shamika with a huge first half, 17 points. Really carried the club. Randall and Catching's a bit quiet. Holtzclaw off the dribble, stripped by Nolan.
Nice play defensively by Nolan, because Holtzclaw, when she has the ball, she wants to kind of get you inside out, but she puts the ball in her left hand, and that's what gets her off on that little fade jump shot.
And a whistle on the screen. Catching, setting the pick. Nolan tried to force her way through it. That's the second on Deanna. We've talked about the difficulty of running through the tournament as we take a look.
Yeah, it would be a little physical on the inside.
Michelle Snow now with 10. Tennessee's within 1. But when we talk about the difficulty, Nance, of winning this tournament, Nolan around and out. Tries to find McDonald and he goes out of bounds. In the last 13 years, only 4 times has the regular season champion gone on to win the tournament championship. Tennessee did it last year. But it has never been an easy road for the regular season champs to take home the crown in the tournament.
Well, Tennessee in 1996, they beat Alabama for the SEC title. Then they defeated Georgia for the NCAA title. In 1989, they beat Auburn for the SEC title, and then beat Auburn for the NCAA title. So you're right. And then last year they won, and they beat La Tech in the final. So it's not been an easy road.
Half-court trap again set up by Tennessee. Taken away by Randall. And then Kelly Miller gets it right back. Loses it on the sideline, but great hustle at both ends of the floor.
What a great play by Samika Randall at one end and then Kelly Miller at the other. Look at this. See, this is a battle of will right here. Who wants the ball? She came in and took the angle when the ball was coming up. What a super play by Kelly Miller.
Catching all the way to the basket, and she draws the foul, and it's going to be number 3 on Angie Ball.
I would bet that in the locker room at halftime, Pat Summitt looked at the stat sheet and went, we went to the foul line 2 times. You have got to attack Georgia and get them in foul trouble.
First trip of the game for Catching. Tennessee usually about 67% from the stripe, and his ball now has 3 personals.
Catchings gets to the foul line nearly 5 times, or a little bit over 5 times a game. The same thing with Holtzclaw.
He blew up against Florida earlier in this tournament, scored a career-high 38 points. Came back with a double-double yesterday. Coco Miller on the drive. And before the shot, the foul will be called on Randall.
I like the fact that Tennessee has moved their 2-2-1 defense to half court because it gives Georgia less area to try and break it down and give them less space.
Defensive pressure by Tennessee. Keisha Brown will call a 20-second timeout.
And Andy Landers is not happy that they call the timeout. Coaches like to call their own timeouts because you might need them later on in the game.
Well, don't miss ESPN's extensive and exclusive coverage of the Women's NCAA Tournament beginning Friday, March 12th. Over 20 games will air on ESPN or here on the Deuce, beginning with the first and second rounds, all the regional action, and concluding with the national semis and the championship game on Sunday, March 28th, exclusively on ESPN. ESPN.com, part of Go Network, Go.com. We're tied at 40. It's about 2 minutes into this second half of the SEC Championship here in Chattanooga. Keisha Brown, jumper, in and out. Rebound, Snow.
The difference in Tennessee's defense second half is they're putting more pressure on denying the wings and saying, fine, if you're going to beat us backdoor, go ahead. But I don't think you can do that the whole game. Holtzclaw.
Catchings way up for the rebound and the putback. First lead for Tennessee since 5 minutes into the game.
There's not a lot of room to work within the half-court offense when you drop your press back and then you go into your man-to-man.
Coco uses Kelly's screen. Again, one and done for Georgia. The outlet to Jolly. Tried the no-look to Holtzclaw. Kicked by Brown. Well, the first 3 minutes of this half and the 1 minute to close out that first half, it is now a 13-2 Tennessee run.
Well, it always helps when you have somebody like Kelly Jolly on the floor. She is the unsung hero of this team, and as I say that, she almost turns it all over.
Instead, another foul in the paint against Georgia.
But she really does, Beth. I mean, she has almost a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in the Alabama game the other night. She plays 38 minutes, has only 2 turnovers, and that's why Pat Summitt will miss her as much as anybody when she graduates.
Third personal on Vishniakova. There's Jolly right on cue with the 3.
You gotta remember, she was a shooting guard in college and has come to become one of the most coachable players in the history of Tennessee basketball.
In fact, Summitt says the most coachable in her 25 years, she was telling us earlier today. High praise for Jolly. Working inside, Vishniakova off balance. Miller. And the foul on the floor. And actually a break here for Tennessee.
Well, it is a break for Tennessee, but it doesn't matter the score. Georgia continues to scrap on both ends.
Tweety Nolan back into the Georgia lineup as Holtzclaw is charged with her second personal.
Nolan, a high school teammate with Tawana McDonald at Northern High School in Flint.
Nolan. Georgia's still looking for its first points of the second half. Eight unanswered now for Tennessee since the break.
Tamika Randall has been trying to post up Coco Miller on the low post, and she's got to realize if she doesn't get it, she's got to move out and come back and repost.
Now some foul concerns for Andy Landers in Georgia as McDonald picks up her third. She, Ball, and Vishniakova now have 3 apiece.
Tennessee has to play to their advantage, and that's the fact that Georgia can get in foul trouble at times. Working down low, Holtzclaw in traffic, gets two. Big time move by the biggest big time player in the history of college basketball. 10-0 Tennessee run. Does Georgia have the answer? Brown, scoop shot for two. Wow, what a shot by Keisha Brown. 2-3 zone by Georgia now. Catching, skips to Jolly, strikes up another three. Holtzclaw keeps it alive. Catching. Third opportunity is good. So quick on the offensive boards, catching Snow and Holtzclaw. Brown knocked back across midcourt by Clement. 10 on the shot clock. So even though Georgia has the 4 guards in the game, this trapping is saving them somewhat. Jolly with the good box out of Kelly Miller. Tennessee will wisely reset. Jolly surveys the 2-3 zone. And all they're going to do, Tennessee, is overload a little bit and try and go inside. And that should be a bounce pass. You fake the pass to make the pass. Tennessee's come out of the locker room hot. But moves like this from Keisha Brown should keep Georgia in the hunt.
I was driving across country on the way to my first job, just out of college. I had hardly any money. Yeah, that's when my car starts making this weird noise. I saw a Firestone store with MasterCare car service. So I had them check it out, and guess what? They found the problem and even suggested a way to fix it that saved me money when I needed it most. I'll never forget that.
Let's go. Load them up. MasterCare means we guarantee to fix it right or your money back.
MasterCare at Firestone. Just what your car needs.
Some nights, it's the person you least expected. A 15-foot jumper or a three-point play. The one who makes the steal, draws the charge, or converts the one-and-one. Some nights, it's the person you least expected. Some nights, it's you.
Where do some of America's most successful people get their start? Did somebody say McDonald's?
.42 Tennessee with the lead over Georgia. 14:25 to play. And a vote for Pat Summitt for president. I don't think she'd have any problems carrying the state of Tennessee in the election. And look at the difference on the glass in the second half, Nancy, for Tennessee.
Well, that's the staple of their existence at Tennessee. You've seen the slogan, defense wins games, rebounds win championships, and that's exactly what they do to teams. They out-rebound them.
And Georgia just 1 of 8, only 2 points in the first 5.5 minutes of this half. Both Millers scoreless.
Well, anytime Tennessee comes out of the locker room and they're down, you know that they've had the wrath of Pat Summitt, the eyes that you saw on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the crying that went on in the HBO special.
Snow working inside, and the whistle way out on top will be number 4 on Tawana McDonald.
Totally two different teams. Tennessee going to the board, they're getting inside, they're going to the foul line, and they're aggressive in their half-court trap.
Georgia was running out to the lead when McDonald stayed out of foul trouble and was scoring 11 points in the first half, but now she's got the 4 personals. That means Ball and Vishniakova are going to play a lot of minutes here with 3 personals. They do not have another post player to turn to. Shavonda Willis, the 6'3 junior, has not seen any playing time yet in the tournament.
Because I think the biggest difference in the Georgia team from the 17 and 11 team from a year ago is that they're getting great inside play from Ball, Vishniakova, and McDonald.
Holtzclaw a little frustrated with herself for not finishing that one off.
She got a nice left-right combo, by the way. As I said, this defense, unless you can split it like that, you don't have a lot of court to work with, and you can't see the seams as well.
Just 1 basket in the last 8 minutes now, carrying back over into the first half for Georgia. This was one of the problems that Alabama faced yesterday. They just simply ran out of weapons in the second half.
And also, Tennessee wears you out with how physical they are. They're cutting the cutters. They're physical on the boards. And if you don't have the depth that they do.
The pressure applied out top, and Coco Miller walks with it, trying to take the handoff from Vishniakova.
Sometimes you get so frustrated you want to attack pressure with pressure. The way to do it is just to kind of take that reverse dribble back and create a little bit of space for yourself.
12 Georgia turnovers in the game. And an offensive foul whistle away from the ball down low. It's going to go on Michelle Snow. Second on Snow, the freshman from Pensacola. And missed basketball in the state of Florida last year. And as Vishniakova goes out, we get another look now, Nancy, at the 4-guard alignment for Georgia as Deanna Nolan checks back in.
Well, and then you have Ball, who runs the middle of the floor down low, and she's very quick off the dribble. See, those are the fouls that are going to drive Tennessee crazy. Ace Clement, you don't have to bump her at half court. All you're trying to do is play position defense.
Second on Clement, 6 now on Tennessee, 5 team fouls on Georgia in the second half. Check that, the 3rd on Ace, so Randall will replace her.
Of course, it's hard to say that to a team who's been told to play hard, play aggressive, and that's your mindset.
Today in practice, the coaching staff telling Tennessee to maintain the pressure on the ball. That was heard on several occasions today in practice. The lob inside the ball, but she didn't pivot to go after it.
So she was in the mid-post, and she was showing her hand to Miller. But you're right, the timing is off right here. Great defense on the inside. Look how Ball is working hard to try and get the ball to ball.
At the other end, Georgia with a takeaway. 7th Tennessee turnover of the game. Kelly Miller, floater, no good. Still just 1 basket in the second half for Georgia.
And they have to play the 2-3 zone because they're in somewhat of foul trouble. They're trying to just chew up a little bit of time until they can get their players back on.
They are giving up all kinds of size along the front line. 2 guards now playing the forward spots on the back of that 2-3 zone.
Which isn't a bad defense because besides Jolly and Catchings, they're the only 3-point shooters for Tennessee.
Snow now has a dozen. It's a 20-2 Tennessee run since about 3 minutes to go in the first half. Coco, 3-pointer.
You know what Georgia did for the first time this half? They passed the ball through the pressure instead of dribbling through the pressure. They found the middle of the floor.
Holtzclaw. Nolan comes down with it. Deanna on the break. 3 on 2. Coco around Randall, and they just cannot get one to fall.
very smart play by Randall, realizing she didn't have the numbers. Pull it out. Run your zone offense. Jolly, three-pointer. Weak side, put back, catching to Snow. This trap has totally taken the strength of the Millers, although that time Kelly Miller hits it, taking the Miller strength away from the Georgia offense. 2 baskets through the first 9 minutes of this half for Georgia. Kelly Miller now with 11. And is now too shy of 1,000 for her career, which would be an incredible feat because Shamika Holtzclaw got to 1,000 points in 57 games, and she would do the same. The onslaught continues for Tennessee on the glass. Randall with a couple more. And it's an 11-point Tennessee lead. Michelle Snow, 6 in the second half, including this one in the paint. And the Lady Vols are fired up.
Dry.
How do you plan on paying unexpected medical bills? Conseco's supplemental health policies can help. Conseco, step up.
Lycos, go get it. Lycos, sorry, go get it.
Unleash the new Lycos, and the internet is at your command. So, no matter what you're looking to retrieve, Lycos will hunt it down quicker and easier.
Lycos, go get it.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Good boy. Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aquasteel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
I'm here with an exciting medical announcement. Doctors have learned that Monistat 1 keeps working for days to cure a yeast infection. Monistat 1 dose, from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
55-44, a big turnaround for Tennessee in the second half. They go on an 18-4 run since the intermission. Georgia shot 55% from the floor in the first half, and just 17%, 2 baskets here in the second half, Nancy.
Well, credit the great defense, so active in the passing lanes. They have not been able to figure out the half-court trap and where the seams are.
Georgia sticks with the 4-guard alignment. Angie Ball misses inside. Teresa Jeter with a rebound.
Well, you know, that time Ball gets the ball off the first pass, turns, shoots. There's nobody on the weak side to rebound for Georgia. In the second half, it's been 16 to 3 for Tennessee rebounding.
One of the reasons why Tawana McDonald out with 4 personal fouls. A couple of quick ones in the second half. Holtzclaw off the mark. Nolan with the rebound.
The Holtzclaw doesn't take that many three-point shots, only 17 on the season.
Coco Miller. No good. Ball tries to keep it alive. Georgia will have it.
One more time. Georgia makes one pass. Georgia takes one shot. You're not making the Tennessee defense work. You are easy to guard off of one pass, one shot.
That's what Landers was talking about with his team today in practice. Would you rather have them guard us, or do you want to guard them for 40 minutes?
Well, right now, Tennessee, they have certainly been guarding Tennessee most of the second half.
Coco finds some space, hangs and hits off glass. First basket of the second half for Coco. She's got a dozen.
Oh, what a tough shot in between 2 or 3 Tennessee defenders. But again, it's the same scenario. Either putting the ball down, you're not making Tennessee work.
to reverse it side to side. Randall dumps it inside to Jeter, and Angie Ball now has just picked up her 4th personal. What great hands that time by Teresa Jeter. Here you have Coco Miller making the pass. And the great defense. See, the trap is coming from all over, and the Tennessee posts are so quick that Miller has to then come in and go 1-on-3. And that time, being such a good offensive player, she can make that once in a while, but it's a low percentage side. Let's see if Tennessee goes inside now as Tawana McDonald has come back into the game with 4 personals. She's guarding Michelle Snow inside. Randall calls her own number. Nolan cuts her off. And the foul will be a hand check against Coco Miller. That's something at the beginning of the season. The officials said that is going to be a point of emphasis. There will be no hand checking. We're going to make the call. I think the players have adjusted quite nicely during the course of the season. So now Georgia over the limit. So Tennessee heads to the line. 2 of 6 today. First trip there for Jeter. Jeter, pretty good foul shooter. About 80% for Tennessee. Now Catchings returns to the Tennessee lineup. 9:02 to go. Tennessee, the top seed in the tournament, leading Georgia 56-46. Beth Mullins, Nancy Lieberman-Klein at the Roundhouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's really a nice combination when you have Snow and Jeter, because what you get basically is a two-headed center. You're getting about 16 points and 11 rebounds out of your 2 post players for the Lady Vols. Miller with the miss. Now Clement for Tennessee. Georgia led at the half, and the Lady Vols have exploded here to start out the second. The block inside by Nolan and a foul. Jeter underneath. I talked about her hands before. When you have a post player that can get their hands on the ball and squeeze it, it means everything, because your guards are going to come back to you time and time again. John Chaney, the great coach of the Temple Owls, was at a clinic in September, and he said, you can't teach no hands. If you have a player that doesn't have any hands, chances are you're going to get fired. So that is something you can't teach, so don't recruit it. Jeter now 4 of 4 from the line. It's a 13-point Tennessee lead. Georgia now on the ropes with 8.5 to play. Keisha Brown hangs and can't convert it. The long outlet, the foot race, Randall and Kelly Miller. And Miller called for the foul. Well, Nancy, in their first 2 games, this is about as close as Georgia got, and then they started to run into problems. Same thing happening tonight. I didn't know we were at the Milrose games. You had the 40-yard sprint right there between Kelly Miller, and Randall. And, yeah, there's a little bit of hands. I know Kelly Miller a little disappointed in the call. Randall misses on the free throw, and this time the foul will go against Tennessee. And what was pretty much a whistle-free game for most of this one now starting to get a few more stoppages in play, and that foul will put Tennessee over the limit. So now McDonald to the other end to shoot the free throws. Yeah, but you're also looking at 2 teams that are getting a little bit tired. So shooting percentages may go down. You're not moving your feet as much as you did earlier in the game. Nikki DeMoss, one of the great recruiters in college basketball. McDonald, 11 points in the first half. That's her first point of this second half. Georgia, they need her on the floor. I mean, she has had a tremendous game. She's their best rebounder. She's a great shot blocker. And remember, she missed the first 7 games of the year with the sprained knee. You can see the brace on her right knee. Well, the good news, too, for Georgia, everybody comes back with the exception of Cam Irwin Oswald, the only senior on this team. There you go. That's the way you beat pressure. You get the ball beyond the first trap and then go again, the 4-guard alignment. They've been playing that way since about the 14-minute mark of the second half. Randall on the drive. And the foul will be called out top.
Randall doing a nice job penetrating inside the zone, making somebody rotate and come up. And she's got that nice hang time so she can change her shot.
That is now the third on Kelly Miller.
What a career Randall's had. High school All-American at Trinity, Cleveland, Ohio. This year, first-team All-SEC. She worked so hard this summer, Beth, with Al Brown in the gym at Tennessee, working on her shot. I know she's a little disappointed it's not dropping right now, but she's got incredible work ethic.
She scored the 1,000th point of her career yesterday in the semifinal win over Alabama. Cannot get either of those free throws to go.
Well, she's pushing her shot. Instead of shooting it, it's going out instead of up.
And that is the 5th personal foul on Tawana McDonald. She is done with 7:55 to play.
And for those of you watching, this is not a Tennessee home game. This is Chattanooga, Tennessee, where about, 9,000 or so Tennessee fans. What incredible fans. They lead the nation in attendance, over 17,500 a game. They just support this program. It is really remarkable.
McDonald leads with 13 points. And you're right, Nancy, back over in Knoxville at Thompson Bowling Arena, they are averaging better than the NBA average for attendance this year.
They've won 6 titles. They're proud of their team. The same way the folks back in Athens. I mean, their attendance has grown over the years. Average this year, 3,200.
Angie Ball back into the game with Georgia. Catching's now 11-7, make it 12.7 rebounds with a sophomore from Duncanville, Texas. Amazingly enough, too, for Pat Summitt, Catchings, Randall, and Holtzclaw, all finalists for the Naismith Award, which is the Player of the Year award. There's only 10 names on that list, and she's got 3 of them. Right now, she's got the lead as well. Tennessee getting close to an SEC title.
Got cars? We do. Thousands of them. 23 makes in all on one line. Fully loaded.
College experience is one of the best times of my life. The camaraderie, the competition, the fans. I see today's college players, and they're tough, quick, they're talented. My advice to them is stay in school, get your degree, find a good job. In an office somewhere.
It's a championship week triple header to see who gets a trip to the Big Dance. Tomorrow at 5, 7:30, and 11:30 on ESPN2.
Or would it kill you to go to grad school?
61-48 Tennessee with a big second half for the second-ranked Lady Vols. Just under 8 minutes to play as Tennessee goes for its second consecutive SEC tournament championship. And, of course, always thinking about that national title down the road as well. 30-8 is the run for Tennessee since the 3-minute mark. The 3 minutes left to go in the first half, and it's carried over into the second half as well.
Little 1-2-1-1 this time underneath the basket. Change up by Tennessee. At the beginning of the game, when Georgia was able to run out, they were getting layups or one-on-one shots early.
Coco Miller now with 14. She, too, by the way, just like her sister, closing in on the 1,000-point mark. They probably get it in the NCAA tournament. Randall, and one.
See, that's a good matchup underneath for Randall, because even though Ball is 6'3" and Randall's only 5'10", she is so physically strong. And instead of going over you, she goes under or around. Watch this right here. She loves to post up. A little pump fake. She gets you in the air. And you have to foul her because you're going over her back.
Well, that is the second Georgia post player to foul out. Angie Ball leads the game with 4 points, 5 personals. Randall continues to struggle from the free throw line. So now Vishniakova back into the game for Georgia with 3 personals.
Vishniakova, the best rebounder on the team. She's got to assert herself offensively. She averages 8 points on the year.
Kelly Miller with the drive. Looks like they are going to count the basket. Give her the bucket, and the foul will be called on Randall.
And that's a tough call. I'd like to see that again because it looked like baseline she pushed off against Randall, and she did. I mean, that's just, unfortunately, not a good call. Randall doing a great job of moving her feet, never stepped in to Kelly Miller, but can't win them all.
Well, fortunately for Kelly Miller now, that is the 1,000th point of her career, as she's now got 1,001. As Clement wasn't expecting the pass from Jolly, it goes out of bounds. And as you mentioned earlier, Nancy, she gets to 1,000 points as quickly as Shamika Holtzclaw did in her career for Tennessee.
Well, that's not bad recruiting for Andy Landers. He's got about 2,000 points worth of Millers.
That, by the way, is not a Georgia record. Janet Harris got there much quicker as Brown misses on the shot.
46 games. Janet Harris, the great All-American, was not giving up the rock. As a matter of fact, Mike Mobley, the SID, tells the story that Andy Landers tells about Tracy Waits, the freshman who played with Harris. 3 times he said, I want you to run this play for you. 3 times Tracy Waits passed the ball to Janet Harris. He gets mad. He goes, why'd you do that? He goes, Janet Harris says, if I didn't give her the ball and she's open, she'd kill me.
Tracy, of course, has moved on now. She's the coach at Pittsburgh in the Big East. After years as an assistant out at Arizona, Arizona had the big win against Stanford over the weekend. Duke, the #1 seed in the ACC, lost to Clemson today in the semis. Jolly sights up the 3. And that may have cost Duke a #1 seed in the tournament.
Absolutely. Although you look back and you think, Colorado State, they have done a great job this year. They have a high RPI. Do they get the seeding that they deserve? And I think they deserve a 1 seed.
Catchings deserves another free throw.
She likes Chattanooga. The other night against Florida, she has a career high 38 points. Look at this, Kelly Jolly always looking up the floor. The jump stop. See, it's the little fundamentals of the game that gets a player like Catchings open.
Tamika's got 15. 3 Lady Vols in double digits. 3 for Georgia as well.
Georgia's interior is gone. McDonald's fouled out. Ball is fouled out. And they are still playing with the heart and the intensity you would expect the Lady Bulldogs to have.
Well, they've got to make a push now with 5.5 to go. Kelly Miller off the mark. Jolly with the rebound. Holtzclaw back into the Tennessee lineup.
They just keep the floor spread, a little 3 out, 2 in. That time Ace Clemens really didn't need to take the shot so early on the 30-second shot clock.
Kelly Miller tries to go around Jolly. Count it.
Little continuation. We're calling it the WNBA call. Miller's so good with penetrating here. The little hesitation, that froze Jolly right there.
Kelly can't believe they counted the basket. 16 now for Kelly Miller. And then Coco Miller called for the foul.
It's a war. No doubt about it. These teams don't love each other. Now, I haven't seen any of the Valentine's Day cards that go back-to-back, but I can assure you that none have come from the other school.
And you talked about one of their biggest games of all time, the '96 National Championship game, which Tennessee won.
What a team Georgia had. They had Saudi Roundtree and Pam Irwin Oswald. She's the only link to that Final Four team.
Lakeisha Pratt, Tracy Henderson, Pedra Holland-Korn. That was a special group. Clement gets a couple of free throws.
Here's a little storied history with Georgia. One of the great players of all time, Teresa Edwards, the only four-time Olympian male or female. We talked about Janet Harris. How about Katrina McClain, a three-time Olympian? Well, they'll probably be talking about the Millers like that someday as well. Coco now with 16. She and Kelly have combined for 32 points. Well, I think eventually that what they'll do is they'll end up comparing Kelly Miller somewhat with Teresa Edwards because Teresa had such an all-court game. She could play the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and Kelly Miller can do that as well. 6 points now for Teresa Jeter. Tennessee just wants to play containment, be aggressive, but don't foul to stop the clock. Catching with the steal. Tamika now with 18, Holtzclaw with 19 for Tennessee. If you think about it, Holtzclaw had 17 at the half, and it's been the rest of the Lady Vols who said, hey, we rode your back in the first half. We're going to do our part. .3:49 to go. Tamika catching. And the Lady Vols ready to put the finishing touches on the SEC title.
She traveled the country as no First Lady ever had before and focused our attention on the parts of it we could not or would not see. She made us care, and in doing so, Eleanor Roosevelt made this country a better place for us all.
We must allow the young people of today to think over a wide field, even if we disagree with them.
State Farm salutes life heroes because State Farm understands life.
Whenever you call, wherever you call, wherever you're calling from. Now every long-distance call on Sprint is just a dime a minute, including calling card calls, even calls to your personal 800 number. So whether you're at home or on your way there, now every minute of every day can be a dime well spent. Come live in a world created around you. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP. Sprint. Ahead.
It is built in November and melts in April. 100 miles above the Arctic Circle. Sweden's Ice Hotel proves that winter can be tamed, controlled, rather enjoyed. A realization some guests arrive at before they arrive. The all-wheel drive Volvo Cross Country.
11,000 plus on hand for this SEC championship matchup. Tennessee with the lead over Georgia. And here's what we were talking about a little earlier. 6 teams look pretty good, don't they, Nancy? And then there's a couple more there that may get in to make a total of 8.
Well, I think so, because one of the problems is they play each other so much in conference play that it dilutes your loss, the loss side of it, because you have to play Tennessee, you have to play Georgia, you have to play some of those top teams, but certainly Mississippi State and Florida have had fantastic years. Their RPIs are high, and the conference has a lot of respect. SEC RPIs have been through the roof this year. Holtzclaw, baseline. Rebound to Coco Miller. Boy, it's been fantastic here in Chattanooga this weekend. 23,000 on hand over the last couple of days. And Andy Landers can't believe it. Looks like it's an offensive foul on Nolan, who came down hard on the floor. All I know is that Nolan goes as hard to the basket as anybody I have seen. This is a player who tried to dunk versus Ole Miss this year, and the ball slipped out of her hand. Look at this right here. She goes hard. Randall is there. I think it's a good call. And Andy Landers just got teed up. Technical foul on the Georgia coach. Andy Landers, one of the top 3 among active Division I coaches that have as much tenure. 24 wins average per year in the 19 years that he has been at Georgia. Only some Summit, Pat Summit, and Jody Conrad have done as well.
Catchings doesn't get either one of the technical foul shots to go. Tennessee basketball on the sideline. That, by the way, was the 4th personal foul on Deanna Nolan.
And before this thing gets away from us, I want to make sure that we thank Debbie Jennings of Tennessee and Mike Mobley of Georgia for all the help they have given us, the SIDs. They make our job easy.
Kelly Miller with a chance for a three-point play as Georgia refuses to go away, and perhaps now stoking the fires with Andy Landers with his technical foul.
Well, they are high octane, and they are a very intense team. As Keisha Brown has the ball right here, makes the correct decision to Kelly Miller, who is a great finisher.
3rd personal on Kelly Jolly. Miller gets the three-point play. Cuts the deficit to 12 now with just over 3 to go.
Well, if you have anybody at the foul line for Georgia, you want it to be Kelly Miller, who leads the SEC in foul shooting. You've got to stay aggressive against the zone, because if you stand, the zone defeats you. You've got to cut through. You've got to make good passes.
Jolly drives the baseline, and she draws the foul. 4 on Elena Vishniakova.
Smart play that time by Kelly Jolly, trying to get some movement within Tennessee's offense.
Jolly to the free throw line. All SEC second team selection this year.
Shamiqua Holtz-Claw, who this year was the SEC Player of the Year. Sue Gunner from LSU. There's so many people that are happy for Sue Gunner and what she's done with that program. Been around the game for a long time and has shared her knowledge with many players.
Terrific years for LSU, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Ole Miss. And a backcourt violation against Georgia. Jolly and Holtzclaw will finish up their SEC careers tonight. During the 4 years they've been in Knoxville, 127 and 16. Including the 39-0 season last year. They'll try and finish it up with 4 national championships, which has never been done in the women's game.
Well, she hasn't lost Holtzclaw since about the 7th grade, I believe. Won championships at Christ the King High School in New York and Queens. And the heir apparent to her job is the woman diving after the ball. Tamika Catchings of Duncanville, Texas.
Possession arrow will give it to the Lady Vols. Away now from winning back-to-back regular season and SEC tournament championships. And surviving a 3-day slugfest here in Chattanooga.
It's tough to play 3 games in 3 days, but you are young.
.22 for Tamika. The kick out to Kelly Miller. She gets the 3.
Are they competitors or what?
And a timeout called by Georgia. They're still discussing whether it's a full or a 20-second timeout. 1:32 to go. We talked a second ago about how important Kelly Jolly is. It's much more when it comes from the mouth of Pat Summit. Here's what she thinks of her senior point guard.
She is very dedicated to the game. She loves the game. The thing that I like so much about coaching her is that she's very coachable. And she certainly is an extension of the coaching staff when the game starts. Look at her assist-turnover ratio, night in and night out. We open up this tournament. She has 8 assists and no turnovers. She understands her role.
Can't beat that when your coach says that your point guard is doing exactly what you want. I always feel like you have to build your team from the point guard to the rest of your players. And she has been remarkable considering she's come back from the 2 ACLs. And hustle begets hustle. Hustle catching starts it, and Jolly finishes it. And if memory serves me correctly, Nancy, the only time in the last 4 years that they really struggled was when Jolly was coming back from that knee surgery a couple of years ago when they had the 10 losses in one season. They still went on to win the title when she came back and was in the lineup. Of course, she had the great career night against UConn, the upset, I believe, in the Mideast region. Then she had the great game against Louisiana Tech last year, career high 21 points in the championship game. She doesn't want to be a star. All she wants to do is just fit in and make everybody better. She set the Final Four record last year with 20 assists. Wonder who most of them went to. Right there, Shamik Wolfswell with the ball. Some full court pressure now being applied by Georgia. Catching, goes backdoor. Gets the basket. 24 for Tamika. What a nice play. That's one of those things where you're thinking on the same page. Catching brought her player up, and then it was a little timing pass towards the basket. 74 points now in the 3 games for Tamika Catchings here in the SEC tournament. 38, 12, and now 24. With a minute to 6 to go, a reminder to stay tuned for the Men's Colonial Athletic Association Championship game. That's coming up following this one at 7 Eastern. Top-seeded Old Dominion, second-seeded George Mason from Richmond, Virginia. That follows us, and I know who you're going to be rooting for, Nance. Here we go, Monarchs. Here we go. Gives Jeff Capel a little bit of credit. He's done a great job with the Old Dominion, their men's program. Quite possible that your Lady Monarchs could get a top seed in the tournament. Well, with Duke losing, it is possible that Wendy Larry's team could now get a #1 seed. 3-point field goal is good from Coco Miller. Georgia continues to scrap. In a collision between Vishniakova and Jolly. That was a freight train named Vishniakova. Or as we saw earlier, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo was rolling through the roundhouse, and Vishniakova will have to leave the game as all 3 of Georgia's post players have fouled out. Well, they fouled out, but they certainly went to work and played hard, and Georgia has a lot to be proud of. It says a lot about their program that they hung in there, and they could have put their heads down and said, okay, we've been beaten twice during the regular season, but I like the fact that they had amnesia, and they came out and they said, we can win and we can compete. Shavonda Willis, a 6'3" junior from East St. Louis, comes in as Kelly Jolly goes to the line. And Holtzclaw will check out of the game. Points and 13 rebounds for Shamika Holtzclaw. And now Kelly Jolly will depart. And a very nice tribute to the 2 seniors on Tennessee that they have changed the course of history with that program. Certainly Holtzclaw and Jolly have set new standards by which every team in the SEC will be trying to obtain. Clement called for the foul. With 22 seconds to go. And a tap on the shoulder and some words exchanged by the 2 seniors, Jolly and Holtzclaw, who will close out their SEC careers with another ring. And now Tennessee has, what do they have to look forward to? 12 days of practice with Coach Summit to get ready for the NCAA tournament. It's always a joy to be in the gym with Pat and her coaches, Al Brown, Mickey DeMoss, Holly Warlick for 12 days, uninterrupted. Needless to say, the 3-time defending champs will be a tough out in the NCAA tournament. Clement with the basket, and the Tennessee Lady Vols
for Tennessee, their 9th SEC championship, and they now get ready for their 18th trip to the NCAA tournament, and in all likelihood, a #1 seed. Catchings with 24. Holtzclaw had 19. Both Coco and Kelly Miller, 19 points to lead the Georgia Lady Bulldogs. 85-69, Tennessee the winner. Coming up, the Colonial Athletic Association Championship between Old Dominion and George Mason. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Nancy Lieberman-Klein, I'm Beth Mullins. Good night from Chattanooga. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network. Go.com.
The Richmond Coliseum for the Colonial Athletic Association. It is the ticket booth for the NCAA.